people don't realize that inside every single vessel there's a musical note determined by the form of the vessel. And this mic that you're using to hear my voice and to reproduce it on the film, if I take the mic and I put it inside the vessel, you should hear my voice completely transformed just by the geometry and the form of that vessel reinforcing its own musical note. So my voice in the air and then my voice inside the vessel. You don't always choose a studio, I think it chooses you. The arch itself is like a huge resonant vessel. Those sounds will never be the same again. And so you can listen to them as a very beautiful and unique, constant composition. Although sound is different every second, something which never changes is harmony. So, for example, a vessel, a wine glass or a seashell, no matter what happens around it and no matter how much sound resonates within it, it will always be resonating at the same note, just because the form reinforces the same harmony. And these spaces all have geometry, and that geometry has harmony because music is form. People don't think about music as form, but it really is. The show's called Resonance Paintings 2 Notes, and it's the first time I've ever presented this new body of work called Resonance Paintings, which is actually something I've unconsciously been working on for the last 10, 12 years. All of the musical, artistic work that I've done, really my whole career has been working at the meeting point of music and visual art. About 12 years ago, 13 years ago, I did my first piece that really is at the origin of all this. I put a handful of flour on the surface of an Irish drum and then played specific music through that drum so that the flour made nebulous patterns. In the lockdown in 2021, I finally had time to revisit that idea of visualizing the sounds that I've been working with for the last 10 years. The series of work is called Resonance Paintings because it's literally a painting made with sound. I'm using sound as my paintbrush. I'm using a speaker, and the speaker moves the air, and the air moves the pigment on the canvas. This loose pigment is so fine that it's free to move with the sound. I've gradually learned how to tune the canvas, essentially, and how to find the harmonics of the canvas. When you play a single note, it has a single form and single geometry. And when you play a second note, it has its own separate geometry. And when you mix them together, those geometries interact and create a new form, a new harmony. When I'm composing the pictures, you can see the harmony appear, and then you very quickly learn what notes create certain forms, and then which interactions create interesting forms. And if you chose the wrong notes, it would create a very boring or random pattern. But if you choose the right, very pure harmonies, then it creates a geometric certainty on the canvas. Basically, for the first time, I'm able to visualize for other people what I'm hearing when I go into a space and hear its resonance, or I hear the vessel singing its note. I grew up always hearing like the musicality of the world, and I've always been very surprised that we're not more conscious of how musical everything that we do is. You can't stir your teacup without there being a whole set of harmonics happening, and yet we are trained to see and not to hear.